My name is Fernando Ansuriz with EXMA magazine. I'm here with Carlos Gil. He's a social media strategist and award-winning storyteller. Carlos, welcome to EXMA magazine. It's a pleasure to have you in EXMA again.
Fernando, it is an absolute honor and a pleasure to be with EXMA for the third time.
This is the third time with you on EXMA, and this is the first time I'm interviewing you because you are always the cameraman. It's a pleasure to be here. And I want to ask you, I've been seeing that you are working a lot on personal branding. So tell us a little bit about how to do a great personal branding job.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone has a personal brand already. You have a personal brand. I have a personal brand. Anyone watching this has a personal brand. However, we all have different levels and degrees based on how active we are on social media. Now, the reason why having a personal brand is very important, a highly visible one, is because people relate to people. So we associate brands of being the marketers, but people in reality are the marketers. We were just drinking a soda here before we turned on the camera, right? If I were to go ahead and promote that soda, I guarantee you there's people out there that are gonna take notice and pay attention, say, oh, Carlos likes to drink Coca-Cola.
Absolutely.
So, that's how this game works. People relate to people, and the more visible you are online gives you more reach. And ultimately, what's happening now is people are starting to get more reach and engagement than some of the largest brands in the world.
Absolutely. Also, what are some of the good recommendations that you can give to the audience to build a great personal brand?
Well, you have to get started somewhere. You have to pick one or two platforms that feel comfortable for you to create content. I'm someone that's been doing this for 10 years now, and a lot of folks know me out there for being the Snapchat storyteller. But over the last year, I've started using Instagram a lot because Instagram has stories. I now create content, put it on YouTube because I can record high definition content and put it on YouTube, whereas Snapchat or Instagram is using my iPhone. So step number one is you have to get started. You have to pick a platform. Step number two is create content around what makes you unique. So I think a lot of people out there, they start to really overanalyze content. And they say, I often hear this from content creators where they say, well, I don't have anything interesting to post. I don't have anything interesting to create. And I say, we're all unique and interesting to someone. And that's the beauty of this. What makes you unique and what makes me unique, even though we kind of work in the same space, are going to be totally different because we relate to different audiences.
I think some of the great brands in the world are using influencers to build their own brands. But sometimes it's hard to measure, and if we are relating brands with influencers, how to measure this phenomenon, how to measure influence, how to measure personal branding.
Here's the thing, Fernando. I think a lot of brands feel that by working with influencers, that's going to create this huge sales lift, this huge spike, and oftentimes companies are very disappointed because what happens is they go out and they hire an influencer that has all this reach and all these followers, and they see very little actual sales lift. So I think you have to look at influencer marketing from this standpoint. The biggest challenge for brands today is content. Brands are very challenged when it comes to creating content. So I think if you work with influencers who have storytelling skills, they understand how to speak to an audience, they feel comfortable creating content from a camera in front of a phone, you're solving a really big challenge. So don't put so much of the emphasis on, I'm going to work with an influencer because they're going to help drive all this new sales. Actually work with influencers because they're going to create content for you. But I think what we're really missing out on is the biggest opportunity is using social media to listen, to see who's really talking about your brand, and work with more of the micro influencers.
Yeah.
So once again, I'd like to use Coca-Cola as an example because they're a very well-known brand. If I was Coca-Cola and running social media for them, I would see who are like the 20 to 30 people around the world that consistently post content about Coca-Cola, natively and organically. And then reach out to those people and say, hey, do you want to do a takeover of our Snapchat account? Do you want to create some content for us? We're going to send you cases of Coke. And incorporate our product into your daily life. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of that because, let's face it, brands don't have millions of dollars to go out and hire like the big, huge influencers, but it's very easy to swap product and a little bit of exposure to the micro influencer.
What does a big brand has to take into consideration to pick up a socializer or influencer? What do you think are the key things that a brand has to take into consideration?
Well, I think that what I said before, use social media to see and listen to who's already speaking about your brand. every brand out there has fans. Every brand out there has advocates. And it's as easy as going on Twitter and typing in your company name, going on Instagram, looking up the hashtag for your company, see who's tagging your company. So any social media manager that knows the inside and outs of their business, I would hope that those are the people that you're working with, whether you're on the brand side or whether you have an agency, is actually listen and then engage those people directly. That's one thing that you should be doing already. The second aspect to that is, let's say you're a hospitality brand and you want to work with travel influencers. Run a good old-fashioned Google search. Who are the top bloggers in your space? And reach out to them directly. I'm a real big fan of working with bloggers. When I used to run social media for Winn-Dixie, which is one of the largest supermarket chains in the United States, we did a lot of blogger campaigns. Back then, bloggers were known as influencers. And what I like working with bloggers is they have a website, so it's really good for SEO. In order to have your campaign listed on their website, they also have email lists, which is great, once again, to promote your brand out through email. Email is a vertical that I think is very much alive, even more so than social media. And at the end of the day, bloggers have a social media presence also, so you can kind of hit all those different channels, web, email, social, by working with bloggers.
Okay, so you work a lot in social media, and you have a lot of knowledge with influence. But now let's put everything together and tell me a little bit, what do you think is going to be the future of marketing?
Oh gosh, that's such a loaded question. I could probably talk to you for the next hour about this. I think two things, bots and AI being one. I think you're going to start seeing now in 2018 and beyond chatbots replacing community managers, which brings me to the challenge for community managers is being much more of a storyteller. Be the voice and face of your company. We talk a lot about storytelling here at EXMA. I talk a lot about storytelling. My session here at EXMA Peru is all about using Snapchat and Instagram for storytelling. But I lead in with bots to show marketers the future of everything that we do is going to be really displaced and disrupted by chatbots. And you need to get ahead of the curve now because you cannot automate relationship building. You really can't. People relate to people, like I said before. And since the beginning of time, the way business has always been done is based on relationships.
That's right.
So when you really think about this, you can use bots to automate things like customer service. You really can't use bots to automate relationship building. So I think the future is really twofold. It's going to be kind of like the movie Terminator. It's going to be like the machines versus the people.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be the bots and AI versus the people, which are the storytellers.
This is Carlos Gil for EXMA Magazine, and as a recap, he's talking about how to be a good influencer, how to humanize your brand, how to take storytelling as part of developing a great content, and how this technology is going to combine the human behavior with the AI technology, and of course with bots. So thank you very much, Carlos, for being part of the
Thank you, Fernando.
family. Take care.
Thank you.
Soon.